I know this is a little different, but if you're not caught up on Succession, what the fuck are you doing with your life? Bitch. I don't want to get hit for copyright, but I've been listening to Lil White and 3-6 all day. And boy, this is not hater season. I got my Sublime shirt on for Jason because Jason was just texting me. And then I thought, oh, blue, okay, we got this shit. Fluffy Tupac bow, in. Sublime shirt, ready. Let's talk about the fucking Roy family. Seriously, what are you doing? It's the best show on TV. Like, when that came out, it filled the Game of Thrones hole in my heart. Times 10. And that's saying something if you're not picking up on the Game of Thrones shit all around me, okay? And I'm just doing this off the cuff. Because I didn't write nothing down. Look, these are Loki notes. Just so you guys know. Loki notes. Doodles. Some safety glasses. Bullshit. Off the cuff. If you're not watching Succession, I remember when I first saw the trailers for it, it was while Game of Thrones was still airing, and I was like, whatever this is, I'm about it. Okay? I love Brian Cox, so that had me sold. He reminds me of my uncle who raised me, so that's part of it too. But I was like, whatever this is, I dig it. And then it won a bunch of awards at the Emmys, and not enough people are watching it. So this is a little bit different from my normal content of MCU and stuff, just because, culture yourselves. This show is fucking great. Will Ferrell's a writer on it. I'm pretty sure an executive producer. Adam McKay. It's a dark comedy, and it's great. How I describe it to people is, imagine if Tywin Lannister ran a company today. Not only is it fantastic and has the greatest opening music of anything of all time, I don't give a fuck what you want to compare it to. I don't give a shit. Go and listen to the Succession beat, and you're gonna go, oh, she was right. Okay, so you're following the Roy family, which is this big, huge media conglomerate. You would think that the show would not be good, because who wants to watch these like one percenters be one percenters? But I say this all the time, and me and Mom were talking about this with The Sopranos. The reason why Game of Thrones, the reason why Sopranos, the reason why Succession works, and the reason they are the best shows is because families make the best things to write about. Think about your own family. We can all relate to, you don't have to be in the mafia to relate to Sopranos. You can relate to family things in Game of Thrones. You can relate to my sister don't like me, and me and my brother get along better. You can relate to those things. That's why stuff about families works, and that's why Succession works. And not only does it work on that level, but it's hilarious. I'm gonna call my shot now. If you have been watching Succession, I think that Cousin Greg, if you want to say somebody's going to, quote, win the game in the end, it will be Cousin Greg. It sounds crazy if you've watched the show, but Cousin Greg. I'm going to get into the season 3 trailer. I just want more people to watch Succession also, though. So if you don't want to hear anything about the season 3 trailer, click off, but it's probably not going to spoil anything for you. I mean, it will, but it's so good. It's so good. I'm rewatching it right now. It's one of my go-to shows that I put on when I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do. I'm kind of bored. Succession. Throw Succession on. Succession, Game of Thrones, Sailor Moon. Those are my go-tos. Or Dragon Ball. Oh, and if one more man tries to check me on my Dragon Ball shit, Succession. You need to be watching the show. There needs to be more of us out here. Why are there not more Succession fans? I work in a factory. Do you know how many times I use the quote shit show at the fuck factory? At least like 3 times a week I yell it out, and nobody knows what the fuck I'm talking about. I think maybe one other person on my team has watched Succession. That's it. And then my ex, who's on another shift, and I'm like, I was just talking to him about it earlier, and he was like, those are the only ads on YouTube I like watching. I was like, right? I listen to it every time. Honestly, I think that Succession does a great job with not only the family dynamic, but what actually happens with scandal and major companies. It just does a very good job at that, and makes it funny, which is hard to do. To take something so serious like the subject matter in Succession and make it funny is hard. And you have Will Ferrell, like I said, you have Adam McKay, you have great people working on this that are very funny. You have great actors in it. You have Kieran Culkin, who's Macaulay Culkin's younger brother. Like I said, you have Brian Cox, who is an amazing actor. I talked about him in one of my videos back in the very beginning when I was super sick. Stryker from X-Men, X2. That's Ryan Cox, or The Ring. I'm trying to think of things that, God, I'm old. I'm trying to think of things that you would remember Brian Cox in, and I'm like, Mindhunter, Manhunter, which I was just talking about Mindhunter, but Manhunter, if you've seen that, which is a Red Dragon spinoff. I'm trying to think of his biggest role, but I think most people would know him as Stryker, right? From X2, the one who makes Wolverine. That's Brian Cox. That's my dude, and he reminds me of my uncle who raised me, so I just love him. But like I said, the subject matter that Succession tackles, not only just family, and I just find the family dynamic extremely well done because it shows every family is complicated. Every family is complicated, whether you are in the 1% or or fucking middle class or at the poverty line. Like, everybody has complicated families that not everybody gets along. Not everybody likes each other. Some people like each other more. Some people's bonds are stronger. Some people have a fucked up relationship with their parents. It doesn't mean it's okay just because they're your parent. Like, these are the cycles of abuse, which is very similar to Sopranos, the cycles of abuse that your parents have gone through. And so now they put you through it or try to break that. Like, those are very heavy subjects to tackle. And I give them a lot of credit for making this a dark comedy, but I really don't see any other way you could talk about this type of thing unless you made it a dark comedy or a comedy in general. You guys know I am biased. I'm Team Logan, which is not, I don't know if that's good or not. Even them talking about in season 2 the optics of let's stick a woman out there, and the daughter's like, what, I'm the token woman, so you're gonna stick me out there? And they're like, yeah we are. And it's just like, companies do that shit. If you think companies don't, you're stupid. Like, they pander to shit, especially when they're in the middle of scandal. And like I said, it's not just about scandal, it's about all kinds of different things. But I think Cousin Greg is going to, quote, win it all, like, because Logan's got a special spot for him and likes the fact that he came up from nothing. I'll just ramble about Succession for hours if you guys allow me to, which none of you are here to stop me, so. But I do think I got a text from a little cutie pie. He's not a little cutie pie, he's just a cutie pie. Trailer, 2 things that are funny about it that are in the very beginning are, 1, I do that all the time, and I think that everybody should, is look yourself in the mirror and either tell yourself you're awesome or you know exactly who you are every day, and it starts your day off better. I really do. I try to start my day off going, you're fucking awesome, remember that shit, Abby. That's how they start the trailer off. And then Roman, Kieran Culkin's character, says, I don't see him yet, him and his stupid walk. And I literally have used that on numerous occasions to talk about my ex. Not the nice one, the crazy one. Spot him a mile away. His black skinny jeans and his funny hoppity walk. Then we get to Kendall finally getting into the boardroom, finally confronting his family and his dad talking about, I'm going to kill him, and coming at him physically, and Kendall not giving a fuck. The revolution will be televised is a hilarious line. Like I said, this is a genuinely funny show. We're going to get into heavy spoiler territory for season 2, so if you want to click off now. But Kendall starts talking about, Dad was going to send me to jail. If you don't think he wouldn't do that to any of you, you're fucking dumb. Like, that's what he starts talking about. Now, I need to get better at my grammar. Mom and I have talked about Succession since it came out. She loves Succession, which I'm kind of shocked by, because if you've watched it, you know there's a lot of swearing, there's a lot of raunchy shit in it, and that's normally not Mom's cup of tea. But then again, she just sat through all of Sopranos, so who am I to fucking talk about that? But anyway, he's essentially going to sacrifice his son, and I don't know if anybody else caught on to this. Like I said, being raised hardcore Catholic, besides screwing up in this Many Saints of Newark trailer and getting called out by my mom because she's making me nervous, I know my Catholic imagery. And so the Last Supper, the Judas kiss, him laying in the pool stretched out like Jesus, meaning like he's going to be the sacrificial lamb. Like he's going to be the one that's sacrificed. And what Kendall does is he says, fuck that noise. And once he gets into the press release, he's like, nope, my dad's a scumbag. Everybody worked with scumbags. And yeah, they did cover up rape, murder, and all types of terrible shit. You get out of the scene in the trailer of Kendall being in the boardroom and his dad saying, I'm going to fucking kill him. We cut to Shiv, the daughter, who's kind of the favorite kid, chit-chatting with her dad. And he says, are you really a part of this family? And she makes a face, and then we cut to all of the kids together, which is Connor, Shiv, Roman, and Kendall. Kendall saying, or Shiv is saying, the daughter is saying, if I back you against Dad. you're gonna let me be in charge. And then we cut to Roman. Now, I don't know if this is all the same scene, and I don't think it is. I think this is a way to throw us off, but then we cut to Roman saying, whoa, Nelly, I don't know about that shit. Like, and that's the kicker too, is Shiv wants all this power. All of them want power, except for Connor. Well, Connor does, but in a weird way. And if you've watched the show, you know what I'm talking about, conheads. But I'm thinking that Shiv is going to be a bit of a mole this season. I think she's going to be spying on her dad, but then I really don't think that many people are going to want to go, in the end, are going to want to go against Logan. And in this scene, like I said, we don't see Cousin Greg. And remember that in season 1, Cousin Greg is the one that tells Jerry, who's head of the lawyers for the business, Greg is the one who tells her about the scandals. Greg is the only one in the entire show that has not gone against anybody in the family on either side. Also, I have to remember that Greg is the only one who saved documents to protect himself in this whole scandal. So Shiv spitting in a ledger in the office of the Roy Star company offices, so obviously she's mad at somebody. I think they want us to think that she's mad at her dad, Logan, but I don't think it's Logan. I think it's going to end up being Kendall. A funny line from Tom to Greg about shooting that Logan's going to shoot scorpions into his dick, and I laughed. We also get Greg saying, everybody's going into battle with armor on, and I'm going in with nothing. And so meaning Greg obviously thinks that he's not going to be okay, which is going to put him in a corner again, which on top of being in charge of the cover-up with Tom and all of that. But like I said, I think that Greg's going to be okay in the end, and I think that Logan respects the fact. Remember that he started out in parks. He started out at the bottom. He never used his last name to get ahead. He worked. He tried to work, and then it got fucked up, and then he kind of got thrown into this bullshit, and I think Logan respects that. We do get shots of the FBI entering the building, which, never mind, I'm going to get into that. If the feds have ever came to your job, you wouldn't know it. Just saying. We get a voiceover from Kendall's character saying, you need to decide whether you want to be on, you need to pick whether you want to be on the side of good or evil, which to me, on either side, for either of these characters, is not good or evil. But, just like in Game of Thrones and in Sopranos, good and evil are a bit obscured in these shows. We finally get to the greatest line from Logan, from Brian Cox, from his character Logan Roy in the entire trailer, which is, you tell him I'm going to grind his fucking bones to make my bread. Logan says that, and I feel like this actress, I should have wrote down her name, but like I said, I'm going noteless today. The actress who plays Kendall's assistant, rewatching it, I've realized, one, how funny she is and how many little quirks she does, because she doesn't have many lines. She's just his assistant, so she's always there, kind of like, what the fuck? And so she tells Kendall what he said about his bones. And Kendall says, tell him I'm gonna run up off the beanstalk. Like the story Jack and the Beanstalk. And meaning his dad is the giant, the bad guy. And he starts laughing on the phone, and his assistant's like, he's laughing, but it doesn't sound like a good laugh. Like, that's the best part of the whole trailer. We all know it. I do want to talk more about Succession, but I know it's not, like, it's not up front in everything and trending and all this shit. So it's like, more of you need to be watching Succession. It is the best show on TV. It is great. It is amazing. On the Succession train on HBO. New season this fall. There's only 2 seasons. They're both great. They're both hilarious. I love it. It's some of the best writing I've seen in a long time, or heard in a long time, I guess I should say. It's beautifully done. It's hilarious. Go watch Succession seasons 1 and 2 so you can be caught up for this. I'm going to call my shots now, though, that at the I don't know about next season, but I know by the end of this, I think Cousin Greg is going to be the winner, so, quote unquote. We also have to remember, and like I said, we're getting real spoilery, Logan still has that death on Kendall. Kendall killed somebody driving. They're high, so he still has that to use against Kendall. And that's not going to go well. So what? This is, like I said, I'm Team Logan. I don't give a fuck. I'm Team Logan and Team Cousin Greg and Tom. That's where my allegiance lies. But, like I said, you want to come out and say, yep, my dad's a monster, he knew about X, Y, and Z, and he can come out and say, yeah, and you let that kid die, and you didn't tell anybody, and you let him drown, like, you murdered him. And my mom and I have talked about this, and these are some of the best parts about Succession, is that you see these grown people, but when they're together, they turn into children again. And I feel like, and that speaks to the writing and to the actors, but it's sweet to see, like, they're shit talking to each other even, or just being funny, or like, especially the episode of Shiv's wedding when they sneak off to the place and they all forget to tell Connor, but they told his girlfriend. It's like, yeah, no, there's always the sibling that's the odd man out, you know, where you're like, oh no, I told you guys, but I forgot to tell him, but I told his girlfriend. I don't know if she told him. But there's little scenes like that, and I really like that about Succession, is that we see these adults revert back to being kids again when their dad's not around, because their dad is just such a presence in their life and holds so much power over them, and he just carries it like the magnitude it's just it's in the air, like, you just know. And Brian Cox plays Logan Roy so well, like, whoa, bug, I'm recording, please. Especially rewatching Sopranos, which is the reason we have TV we have today. It's just crazy to see how many things have been influenced by that, or just, like I said, just it's wild to sit back and see this show about a mafia boss that influenced so many other shows. And just because family, like I said, is a very complicated thing, no matter what you do, no matter who you are, no matter what, it's always a very complicated thing. Catch up on Succession. Not even if you have nothing to watch. Stop what you're watching. Go watch Succession seasons 1 and 2. It is the best show on television. It is not getting the recognition it deserves in my eyes. Also, out of nowhere, go watch the movie The Burbs, because that is the greatest Tom Hanks movie of all time, and I've realized that nobody else has seen it besides me and a very few others who are very lucky. Okay. I like this pen, if you haven't picked up on it. Almost forgot to record an outro. I'm Abby with Motor City Nerds. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. We are almost at 200 subs. Let's do this, Motor City Nerds. Let's get to 200, okay? Let's get to 200. Thank you to all my subscribers I have right now. I love you guys. Thank you to anybody who views my videos. Leave a comment, like, it helps me. But please, let's hit 200. Like, let's do this. Have a good one, and remember to stay safe out there, and prayers and good vibes to my best friend Big Omari, who was on my channel. He is in the hospital right now with pneumonia and COVID, and I love him very much, and our whole team is praying and sending good vibes your way, Omari. Love you. And everybody else, stay safe out there.